back. We're back for number 6. Oh yeah. Ready to go again. So I'm gonna start this time again. I want to talk about football, but this time I want to talk about some observations that I have after coaching for 5 years, and just a general comment on what I've seen from most kids, from most boys that I've coached. So that's probably gonna be from over roughly maybe 500. I've coached roughly 500 players I've coached, and I've seen like probably close to 7, 8 or 100 of 1,000. Some of the problems that I've seen that are really sad, and then I'm just gonna give you some stats. So from all these players, when I look back, out of let's keep the maths easy. So out of 500 players, I can say that the ones that have had special ability in terms of football, that I could have said this guy he's got exceptional ability. Maybe like 3, 2 max. More like 1 stands out, and then you've got 2 or 3 after following. So that's 1% or less. Then you have the majority. That's just kind of in the middle. Same level. What's interesting though is, if you think about personality, because every time I end up talking about personality and about mental stuff, which is invisible, is intangible, cannot be measured. The players that I could say have amazing attributes, mental attributes, it's roughly the same number. 3, 2. It's just a couple. So it's equally rare to have exceptional skill and to have exceptional mental attributes, so mentality. And I know it's not the most attractive thing to most people, but it's very important. It's very important. And for me, and not just for me, but for me especially, obviously that's because of my different reasons. Anyway, for me, the most important thing that a player can have, when I look at a player, the most important thing for me is up here. I'm trying to immediately kind of evaluate and judge where he's at mentally. I start looking at little things, the way he walks, okay, the way he talks, the way he looks. All these things, they give me, they're clues, and you pick them up. If you know what you're looking for, you pick them up, and you start to shape up like a picture of what this guy's like. Because it's so difficult. It's so difficult to find someone who's got all these qualities at a young age. That's ultra rare. Ultra rare. But if you think about it, let's say at a young age, let's say someone at 10 years old is like a little bit more mature, very intelligent, and all those other things, all those mental qualities I'm talking about, good leadership skills, he's good at communication, he's good, a good teammate, good work ethic, all those things that you cannot quantify. You put this guy, let's say his skill level is like 5 out of 10. Then you get a guy with a skill level 10 out of 10, but his mental is weak. By the time they're 15 or even sooner, it's not going to be the case. So the guy with the stronger mental attributes is always going to end up on top. Always. Unless you start at like 16. Unless you start when it's too late, you're going to win. You're going to win. It's so important, the mental. But at the same time, what's frustrating is it's so important, but at the same time, it's not exactly in your control, because when the younger you are, the more of an impact your upbringing has on your mentality. So it's up to the parents and up to your environment to shape you up in the beginning. Obviously, when as the older you get, and when you the older you get, you start to develop the ability to actually fix some of those things if you're willing. But yeah, the mental is so important. It is so frustrating. So many boys nowadays, they don't even do the basics. Don't even do the basics. They can't show up on time. You cannot show up on time. You come to the training session. So many of them, they don't have their laces done. Or they're sagging their pants. Their pants are halfway up there. I even get annoyed just thinking about it. Or they come to the session. That's what's the most annoying thing, is this haircut, which basically, because I can't really show you what it looks like, it's basically as if you have a mop on top of your head. It's like this. Yeah, bro. As soon as I see that haircut, I immediately know, okay, this guy is probably lazy. He's probably very slow in terms of not sprinting, but in terms of how he reacts when he's asked to do something, and he just doesn't care. Immediately, that's immediately obvious. And the combo, this haircut and sagging the pants, I see a player like that, I'm like, yeah, this guy, no good, mate, no good. And there's so many players. I don't want to come up with the wrong statistics, but I would say at least 25-30% of all the players that I've seen have had both of these things at the same time. Can you imagine? That's shocking. This is shocking. Honestly, this is shocking. And I'm gonna tell you, some people, oh, it's just a haircut, he's just a boy, blah 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 blah. He's gonna the way you look inevitably is gonna impact the way you act. Why? Because it's gonna impact the way you see yourself. Because you literally, when you look in the mirror, you're gonna be seeing something else. You're gonna be seeing something different. Okay? If I'm sagging my pants and if I've got this haircut when that comes down to here and it looks like, just looks horrible, yeah. And I've got my shoulders like this, and I think I'm a little gangster or whatever, and I drag my feet when I walk, and I'm wearing socks and my sliders, and I'm just dragging my feet, and my my foot is halfway out the sliders. What good is that gonna do for you? What is it gonna make you look very casual? What's good about being casual? very, very laid back and very chill. What's good about being chill? I don't get it. Relax, bro. Why? What benefit comes from all this? Nothing. You know what this is? This is just the peak of insecurity. People that are insecure, they pretend that they're very laid back. That's so common in young in like in teenagers. Why trying so hard, bro? Relax, chill. Oh, he's try harding or whatever the new word is. This is ridiculously stupid. You know who doesn't try hard? People that are very insecure in themselves and they cannot allow themselves to actually go and put on and show that they care and that they're putting full effort. Why? Because if it doesn't work out, then you're going to be so damaged, you're going to be so hurt that you're scared to even try, which is bad, and which for most teenagers and just boys, young boys, they don't really see it. But for someone that is a bit more, someone that's got the a bit more mature, it's obvious. It's obvious, and it's not a good look. And I don't even know why people allow that. It's not good. So many insecure people. You cannot take criticism. You just hide behind this laid-back persona because you're so scared. So scared. Do you know how many of the players that I've coached? Because I really pay attention to the way everyone walks. This might be a weird thing, but I really pay attention to how everyone walks. Even when I'm out on the street and just going to the shop or whatever, when I see a person, I immediately notice the way they walk. And how many teenagers, they walk with their shoulders rolled forward. Like this. This is so insecure. So insecure. I'm not even trying to be a body language expert. It's just not good. Out of 500 players, I could say maybe like 10 actually walk with their shoulders back, just normal. And when you see them, you're like, this guy, he looks like a serious guy. He looks like a good boy. Yeah, I like him. Just the body language, positive body language. It's nice, confident, shoulders back, not puffing your chest as if you just started going to the gym like this. You know, everyone that starts going to the gym is like, yeah, bro. No, just normal. You walk, you're confident, you're not dragging your feet, you're not slow, and yeah, you don't move like a fucking penguin. Like 10. Not 10, I'm a bit harsh. But it's a very small number. All those things. The more all these things, they accumulate over time. That's the perception, that's the image that you build. That's the image that you create for yourself. That's the way you start seeing yourself. Oh, yeah. That's the behavior you adopt. So the way you look is gonna make an impact in your perception of yourself. This is gonna make an impact in your behavior. And your behavior over time is gonna have an impact in what you end up being. Too laid back, sooner or later, it's just lazy. Becomes lazy. Okay? The people that try hard, sooner or later, they just work hard. That's it. Oh wait, because obviously I look a bit rough. Obviously I'm going for that look, as if I'm like just a person from the mountains that lives with the hacking animals. Anyway, but just look at the difference. Just look at the difference if I do this. Does that make a difference? Yeah. Do I look like a nicer person now, or do I look a bit like General Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk? Do I look happy? Do I look very approachable? No, I look less approachable. If I walk like this every day, that's gonna change the way I kind of see myself. Can you imagine looking like this and smiling? No, it doesn't really work. But look at the perfect fit. Looks amazing. Obviously, if I'm trying to get into character, then look how nice I am now. See the difference? You see the difference? It's the same. It's the same when you wear that stupid haircut that is covering your forehead, like this. It's the same. Just everything is important. That's what people don't get. Everything is important. There's no things that are not important. Everything is important because everything plays a role into what you become. I can keep ranting about all those things, but maybe next time. But when you walk, bring your shoulders back a little bit, get rid of this ugly haircut. It's bad. And then just start thinking about the direction in which you're going. Because most kids, they don't think about this. Actually, before I move on, I saw this. So this is what I'm gonna read now. Very short. It's like a note that I've written as like just a note in the book that I'm writing. Obviously, don't go. Oh, I'm not gonna finish that book anytime soon. It's probably gonna be. Well, I'm probably gonna finish it in like 5 years or whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I've written down this about discipline. It's about discipline of thought. This kind of ties in into what I've just been talking about. The way you look impacts the way you think. Obviously, the way you look impacts the way you see yourself. The way you see yourself impacts the way you think, and all this. Da, 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 da. So look at this. Discipline of thought is, I would say, probably the biggest determinant of where you end up going in your life. I'm not sure how many people could relate to this, as I don't really believe that it is common for people to analyze their thoughts and feelings consistently in order to become conscious of them and develop the ability to separate themselves from their thoughts. Personally, as any other thinker, I just called myself a thinker. I'm funny. Person, Personally, I, as any other thinker, go to many different places and possibilities in my head. Possible outcomes, let's call that. I'm constantly examining numerous worldviews and potential outcomes of situations. And through all of that, I'm one step away from accepting any certain philosophy. So, what I meant is, I take my mind to all these different places, all these different worldviews. You can call them philosophies. They all have an appeal, That's why some people become religious, because there is a certain appeal there. Oh, yeah, God, blah, 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 whatever. Some people become Buddhists. Some people become idiots. Some people become very chill and laid back because they're just lazy pricks. That's why. Insecure, I forgot to add. And some people become, I don't know, you know what I mean? Some people become businessmen, Andrew Tate or whatever they are. Everything, all of those directions that you can go into, they have a certain appeal. So this is what I mean. So as I'm examining, when you study philosophy, when you read, you're examining all those different things, obviously depending on what you read. So they all have certain appeal. The brain, so I continue reading. The brain can rationalize everything. It is absolutely amazing at doing so. Of course it is. That's why a lot of people cannot argue. And they are not very critical. Why? Because you accept a certain point of view, and then instead of looking at the rest of the data and evidence objectively, your brain starts rationalizing what you've just accepted. So your brain is going to start ignoring everything else that tells you the opposite, even if it's completely logical, and it's just going to support and find new and new evidence to build into your narrative. Okay? So rationalizing your point of view, or whatever you want to rationalize. That's what the brain does. That's why it's important to be aware of all these cognitive biases that you've got. I, for example, continue reading. I, for example, cannot object to the argument for the meaninglessness of life in any logical manner. That's true. I cannot. When someone said life is meaningless, that is not my opinion, but logically, I cannot say no, that's incorrect. I cannot object. I can come up with different stories that, yeah, but this, but that, blah, blah, blah. But logically, I cannot find a reason. At least not yet. Maybe in 50 years when I'm a much greater thinker, maybe I can. Not now, I can't. And I've read a lot. I just can't. Anyway. And it's very easy for me to accept it. However, I, and probably not just me, have an awareness of roughly where any given philosophy could take you. So let's say I accept this and I make this my worldview. Oh yeah, life is meaningless. Don't care, don't give a fuck, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about anything. So I can accept this and then just basically give up on everything else. Why do this? Why do that? Blah, it doesn't matter. Life has no meaning. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying, where was I up to? So yeah, most people, after a certain level of like knowledge that you accumulate and experience, you can you have an awareness. You can anticipate where any given philosophy leads to. Obviously, depending on how intelligent you are, I would say. I'm not saying, yeah. So, we all have an awareness of roughly where any given philosophy could take you. This is where discipline comes into play. I am disciplined enough to go to those places, but not be swept by their appeal. Not feeling my way into those dark places, but rather thinking my way there and then back. Okay? Oh, what an amazing sentence. So I'm thinking, I'm using thoughts to go there, not feelings. Because with feelings, they might take me there and just leave me there. Thoughts, I can separate feelings out of the equation and you just think your way there and then you can think your way back. So that way, I don't allow myself to be swept, to be emotionally influenced by all those philosophies. So this is basically what the philosopher does. You need to be able to look and think objectively, examine different philosophies objectively, examine the topic objectively, not with your feelings. That's why so many people they cannot argue, they cannot say that Messi is better than Ronaldo. Why? Because they're so emotionally attached to Ronaldo that they don't see the obvious truth. That's why. Because feel you feel your way into that place of thinking Ronaldo is the goal. You don't think, wait for Ronaldo is the goal. And then you go back to the center. So that amazing sentence. Not feeling my way into those dark places. So obviously here I was talking about those dark places philosophically where you can go. So the meaninglessness of life. Oh my God, I'm going there. Da, 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 da. Maybe it is meaningless. And now if I'm some emotional, feminine boy, oh, yeah, it is meaningless. Oh my God. I could end up staying there and I can't fight my way back. Oh my God, nothing makes sense. But no, if you think so, yeah, maybe it's meaningless. Okay, that's a possibility. Okay, let's examine other possibilities. This is the philosopher. Reserve judgment, reserve emotions, keep them back. Okay, da 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 da. Continue reading. If I could even put it that way, it is like feeling versus thinking. Maybe a good analogy is feelings can get you somewhere, but they can't take you back. You can't take your feelings back. It's like a thrown stone. Whereas with thoughts, given that you're skilled enough, you can go anywhere you want and then come back. Ah, that was nice, wasn't it? Oh, I like that. Ah, that was good. The 1st of March 2024 is when I've written this down. I was maybe on a journey somewhere. I've probably gone for a walk and I was like writing it down as I walk. Nice, okay? So, you see what I mean now. You need to think, to think yourself. Think your way into those places, not feel yourself there. What many teenagers do, just to tie it back to that first topic that I started on, they don't really think, they feel. And obviously, the main difference between a boy and a man is the boy feels too much, feels his way around. The man, and a real man, strong man, thinks. Okay, so you can think, not just feel. As you grow up and when you become a man, you leave the feeling for the women. Okay, women feel, that's important for them. Men, you need to think. You're a real man, you think. You're strong enough to think. You've got those feelings, you've got them under control. You know what you're doing. You're not just feeling. Feel. That's for children. Okay, so obviously that's from a place of strength. You can do that. All right, so that was my little rant. Let's answer a couple of questions and see where the questions lead me. The thing is, most of the questions that I've got, I feel like, are all about philosophy. Some deep questions with difficult answers. And even if I do my best to keep it lighthearted, what is going to end up happening is I'm giving shit answers to serious questions. So I don't want to do it. Okay, boom. Answer this. Can we have a meaningful existence without experiencing suffering? This is another philosophical question. I don't even know whether I want to go into it. Without suffering, but this is a really important topic to me. Suffering, pain. This is beautiful. Pain is real. I said, very real experience. Pain and suffering. You need it. You need it. You know what is a misconception about pain and about suffering? Can you have them? Let me just answer. I'll get back to this. What is a misconception? Okay. Can you have a meaningful existence without suffering? I don't think so. I don't think so. You need to suffer. If so, meaning obviously is subjective. But let's say you look at your life as if you're looking at a story. What is the story gonna be like? Okay. In any great story, there is like a great deal of pain and suffering. So obviously that's what makes it a great story. Imagine if a story starts, okay, everything was perfectly fine, everything was good, and that's how it went, boom, end. Nothing happened. So something has to happen for in order to have a great story. Every great story has a great challenge somewhere. Every challenge it presents, obviously, there is discomfort involved. Otherwise, it's not a challenge. It's not challenging if it's easy for you. Okay. In order for it to be a challenge, it needs to be uncomfortable. When something is uncomfortable, there is suffering involved. Logically. So you need pain. You need pain. You need it. Don't even know. But what I don't get, actually, I do get it. So many people turn their heads the other way. Okay, they don't look at it. They don't want to face pain and suffering. Any painful thought, they run away from it. You don't go into it. Everyone is looking to, obviously no one wants to experience bad things, but you need to change the way you look at suffering, because suffering is important. Suffering, you need to. So what is the best way to experience less pain and suffering? What would you say the best way is, or the most certain? Okay, when you do something, you want a high level of certainty, obviously. So how would you say, can you be certain that you can experience less pain and suffering moving forward? Okay, I'm gonna tell you how. You can hope that maybe if I do this and if I do that, then obviously there are certain things to do to improve your life, which have high likelihood of reducing the amount of pain and suffering that you experience, which is have a good life, I get a career, make some money, live a good life. I don't need to explain what a good life is. The the general understanding of a good life, kind of go towards it. Don't do drugs, okay? Don't steal, don't go and kill people, all those things. Don't do bad things, try and do good things for you, for the people next to you. So this is probably gonna be a good step towards living with less pain and suffering if you do that, because you're not actively trying to do damage to yourself. Okay, that's one thing. But we all know you can do that. You can do all those. You can do all the right things, and then still something goes wrong. Tomorrow you have a car crash. Inevitable. You're gonna suffer. There's gonna be pain involved. Or tomorrow your wife leaves you. There's gonna be pain. There's gonna be suffering. Inevitable. Someone gets sick. Someone gets hurt. You get fired from your job. There's numerous things out of your control that can happen and that can hurt you. That can cause all that. And you've done all the good things. So all these good things, they don't necessarily guarantee less pain and suffering. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. It's very logical. What would guarantee that? I'll tell you what. The only thing that guarantees that is if you start working on your mental strength. Obviously, you get stronger, then whatever happens to you is gonna seem, it's not gonna seem as bad. it's not going to seem as difficult. Why? Because you're stronger. You go to the gym. In the beginning, you lift like 20 kilos and you're like, ugh. It seems like the heaviest weight in the world. It seems like, oh my God, I just lifted a car. You keep going to the gym. You go to the gym for another year. In a year time, you lift 20 kilos. You're like, don't even feel that. Can you imagine when I thought that was like heavy? Same way with pain and suffering. The stronger you get, the less things bother you because you're just stronger. So they seem easier to you. So how can you get stronger? Well, you need to expose yourself in a controlled manner to these negative things because you're chasing that adaptation. So progressive overload, progressive exposure to pain, suffering, discomfort, controlled exposure. You do it to yourself, self-inflicted. But I'm not saying go and cut yourself. I'm saying do things that suck. Very logical. All the motivational videos they're about this. But I'm just giving you all this in a logical manner. Hopefully you could follow. I gave you the starting point. I took you on the journey where you go, what happens, We went back to the starting point, but this time the starting point is this is where you start building from. So we started here, we went up the widely accepted route of the good life, the reduce pain and suffering, the live a good life, be happy, blah blah blah, or that philosophy. Go up there, go to the top, but then you're oh shit, bad things still happen. So boom, back to the bottom. And now when you're at the bottom, you start building. So this is how you start building. You need to put yourself out there. You need to start building that mental strength. You start building it, everything else starts improving. Because then all these things that are waiting for you, all those bad things that are waiting for you, there's gonna seem so much less scary, and it's amazing. So basically, you make them, you become stronger, but you need to do it. Suffering. What's that? Yeah, you can. And it's not like, oh yeah, but what's the point if I suffer every day? It's a tiny part of your day. It's just about going out there and doing what you don't like doing and then moving on. Wow, it's not a big deal. It's a small investment of time and willpower. But you start growing, you grow so much, and you can do so many things. So that's my answer. Suffering is not only it's important, it's essential. I've answered this. What's the most profound lesson you've learned from your darkest moments? As a related question, I'm gonna give you a very real answer. The most profound lesson. It was a little bit controversial. What I learned, the most profound lesson from your darkest moments, what I learned was that happiness is not the most important thing in life. That's what I learned. That's why I had this realization. Oh my God, I'm not happy, and I cannot be happy, not for the foreseeable future. And I was like, so what? Well, I need to accept the fact, yeah, I'm not going to be happy. What does that change? And I thought about it. I was like, nothing. I still need to wake up tomorrow, do what I need to do. I can't quit. don't have the quit in me. Okay, no quit in this person. Can't quit. It's just not an option. I don't have the button on the keyboard. Quit. Don't have it. Doesn't work. So I'm like, listen, I'm not happy. I'm probably not going to be happy for a long time. Don't even know when's the next time I'm going to be happy. Okay. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. I still need to do what I need to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it while I'm unhappy, and that's it. The most important lesson, because happiness. I know if you think about it, this is the top of the at the top of the list for 99.9% of people in terms of like, what's the most important thing in life? Oh, happiness. Why? Why is it the most important thing? And what is happiness? And you need to break down the question a little bit. Look at this haircut, that's shocking. Still not as bad as the mop one. Anyway, so what is happiness? And I've had so many arguments with people when I tell them happiness is not really important, and they go crazy. So Jesus Christ, it's dark. Anyway, I'm gonna finish soon. Happiness. Why is it so important? Let's think about it. Let's do a little thought experiment. Happiness. Let's think about it. Can you be happy by yourself? So if you're the only let's say you're the only person in the world, no more people, there is no one else, do you reckon you can be happy? Let's think about this. Okay. I'm guessing, just guessing. The answer is no. Because if you say yes, you're just lying to yourself. How long are you going to be happy for? 1 day? After 1 day or 1 week, maybe, you go out, you're going to drive around, da, 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 da. You can't do anything fun. Okay, you can go and look at the sunset, or go and look at the mountains or the sea. Then you realize nothing. Why would I do anything? Nothing makes sense. It means nothing. So what? Can't share this with anyone. So basically, you go on this journey, obviously, mental journey. You're like, yeah, and you need to realize that you cannot be happy by yourself. What does that say about happiness? What that says about happiness is that happiness is contained within your relationships with other people, because you cannot be happy by yourself. You can only be happy with other people. So if you can only be happy with other people and you have no control over everyone else, that means that you have no control. You don't have complete control over your happiness. So logically, why would you make happiness the priority in your life if you don't have a complete control over it? How does that make sense? You know how that makes sense? To me, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Why would I prioritize something that is not in my control? How does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It's just very tough for people to accept. But logically, it's a very sound argument, very difficult to break. You can't break it, in fact. Now, what I want everyone to understand is that I'm not saying that happiness is not like, it's nice, it's good to be happy. If you could choose, if I can choose, do I want to be happy or not? I would say, yeah, it would be better if I'm happy. But if you ask me, like, am I happy? Don't know. But I don't care. It's not that important to me. Whether I'm happy or not, I just do the same thing. The way I look at it, it's not. It's like a good. It's an extra. It's like a bonus. If I'm doing all those things that I'm supposed to be doing, that's the most important thing to me. If I can be happy doing that, nice, yeah. Thanks, I appreciate it. If I can't, unfortunate, but still not the end of the world. So this is the way I look at it. What was even the original question? Oh yeah, that's the lesson. Yeah. So that's about ops. That's about happiness. It's perfectly logical. And obviously, if someone else says, "So what's the most important then?" Well, I kind of answer this every single time. The most important thing is to me, is to get in. By get in, I mean life. You get in. You find whatever you find. Okay, this is this way. That is that way. You do your best to make it better. Do your best to to make to leave things better than you found them, and you exit. That's it. Simplistically, very obviously, that's a very simplified uh, explanation, but that's basically it. Just, yeah, make everything better. Do your best. Don't live your life for yourself. Live it for other people. Live to give. Oh, that sounds nice. Obviously, now someone's going, well, why don't you give? Do you give money to charity and all that? Why don't you go and give money to the? Well, listen. So wait, first of all, I do give money to charity. All those books behind me, not all, but most charity shops. Anyway, doesn't matter. Um, to have a very big impact, you first need to put a lot of work into yourself. So then you can have a big impact. Okay, so first take care of you, not in a selfish way, but keep improving yourself, keep improving yourself, keep improving yourself. But obviously, have in mind that I'm not doing it just for myself. If I'm just doing it, can you imagine if I'm doing all the things that I'm doing, if I'm just doing them for me? I wouldn't do them, you know? If I was just thinking, yeah, if I didn't care about anyone else, I would be back in Bulgaria and I would be living in like a cabin in the mountains. And I'll go and, yeah, I'll become a farmer, go and hunt my food and all this. Maybe go down to the city, coach for a bit, coach the kids, football, blah, blah, blah. Then go back up in the mountains. Like, old philosophers with the white beard and everything in the mountains. And if someone is seeking wisdom, they come to you. Oh, they have this long journey, blah, 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 difficult journey of 1,000 miles to come to you and to seek wisdom. And then I give them like a very vague answer. They ask me, what is the purpose? And I say, to be now. Obviously, I'm very vague. This is what I would do if I didn't care. Obviously, I'm not doing this. Why? Because I care about people. I want to do something for other people. If I didn't want to, I would be up there. Yeah, that's. I'm completely honest. To be fair, I'm completely 1,000,000% honest at the moment. So all I'm doing, all this, I'm not doing it for me because I don't really care. But then again, to be fair, for me doing this, I'm having fun. I'm having fun, to be honest, completely honest. I can have like 10 views on all my videos for the next 10 years, I don't care. I'm probably still gonna do it. I don't really care. If no one wants to watch it, no one wants to watch it. I'm saying what I want to say. Again, you can't force people to learn things. You can't. You can't. Yeah. Whoever wants to learn, you need to go and look for it. What I'm doing is I'm doing my part. I'm doing my best to put my knowledge and my thoughts out there. And then if someone wants to take something in, you're welcome. If not, then that's your business. But that's it. It's very simple. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for views or anything. I just, if they come, sooner or later they come. If not, they don't. But at the moment, I'm still at this very young stage. Obviously, I'm still getting better at just talking. Because at the moment, what am I doing? Talking to myself, just reading questions and I'm talking. Can you think about? I've been talking for 51 minutes non-stop. That's a skill in and of itself, being able to talk. To be fair, so many people cannot talk. It's shocking. Shocking. But it is important to talk. So that's another thing. Let's say no one watches this and I get nothing out of it. Even if I get nothing out of it, you know what? Still, I've benefited from just talking. So I'm practicing this skill of talking and talking and talking, and of there you go. Obviously, still practicing the skill of communicating your thoughts accurately, because I have all these thoughts in my head and all those things that I've thought about for such a long time, concepts and all this. You can be the smartest person in the world, but if you cannot communicate it accurately, you're gonna lose so much. That's so much waste of talent. So you need to be able to communicate. So if nothing else, at least look, I've improved this quality. I feel like. See how, guys, another thing. Don't use feel like. I feel like that inaccurate. I think that from the first one to the sixth one, whatever you want to call it, episode or whatever else, I'm progressively getting better at just talking. And I've seen I still need to pick up the pace, more words per minute. But it's happening gradually. So yeah, you get out something from everything you do, but make sure what you do is positive. Next question, last question, 53 minutes in. Let's find a question. What is your thoughts on today's society? That's a bit easier. Today's society. What are my thoughts? Don't. Well, I'm overall, I'm a positive person. If you think about the history of humankind, history of humanity, over time, everything gets better. Think about it. I know people, oh, the next crash, the economy is gonna blah 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 blah. All those analysts that like they follow politics a little bit and they feel like they're gonna change the world just because they watch the news and follow politics. Obviously, yeah. Anyway, that's why I don't talk about politics. There's nothing to talk about. Anyway, um, if you look back, everything gets better and better with time. Everything gets better. People live longer. People are happier. People have more money. People have more. Uh, everything, people that have more of everything. Just look back, history, look back. You see, I don't need to go into detail. So everything gets better over time. But when I look at nowadays, just everything is becoming a bit too soft. It's too soft. Everything is too soft. No one can tell a joke. So many people, you cannot share your opinions, and it's inevitable because with social media and all this, everything you say is important. Even look at sports. Why football is getting a bit boring is because there is so much money in football, so much money, and obviously all clubs are very conscious of that. They want to maximize their earnings, and so they have um, trained their players to only say the right things. They don't want anyone to say anything wrong. Okay, so everyone literally sounds like the same person when they give an interview and all that. They don't want to be controversial. They don't want to speak their mind. They're just like it gets so boring. No one's got any personality. Why? Because they're scared to say anything. Because, oh, if it's wrong, oh my God, they're gonna cancel me and this and that. So you can't really speak your mind anymore. So it gets so boring. You can't really say anything. Just everyone just goes around repeating the same thing. Buh, 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 buh. It's so boring because everyone is scared, and it's all because, oh, what if we lose money? What if we lose fans? So we don't want to be this phobic, that phobic. This guy is discriminated, that guy, blah 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 blah. And yeah, it's just everything is so soft, and less people stay in the center and have like a balanced view. By balanced, don't confuse balance with being absolutely mediocre and standing for nothing. Balanced means you can objectively look on both sides and examine the arguments and make up your own mind using logic, not emotions. This is what balance means. And you get more and more extreme left and extreme right, which is not good. Hopefully, obviously, as I said, I'm a positive person, so hopefully it all ends well. But yeah, at the moment you've got this divide, and it's not good. That's why we need philosophers. We need philosophers, we need thinkers. People need to start thinking. People need to learn how to think. So you don't go too far to the left or too far to the right. You can think and you can make up your own mind and be a solid person and be a strong person. If you're a strong person, you don't need to go left and right because you're nice and solid. You've got solid foundations and you don't need to go and hide behind something, behind this side or that side to just to feel part of. So yeah, thoughts on the society. These are my thoughts. Yeah, basically. Ah, that's it. I'm done. 59 minutes. Finished. Finished. I need to go and watch a movie maybe. Because I've done all the training this week. Watch a movie. Treat myself. That's my reward for a week of hard work. One movie. And yeah. Okay. I'm done. And I'll be back next week.